This car that I'm working on is not actually mine. It is a friend of mine. She owns a non-profit organization called the Golden Bark Foundation, and what they do is rescue senior animals and give them their forever homes. To me, that is very important because my wife did a lot of fostering when she was younger, and her mom still does some fostering to this day for animals. So all the work that I'm doing on this car is actually free. She had put on Facebook that she needed help with her car and it was stressing her out, so I offered her to look at her car and do everything for free. All the labor is free. The only thing that's hard is the parts need to be covered, so she's going to cover the parts. I'm going to help her cover some of the parts so that we can get her car up and going. This car is her main car that she uses to take her dogs to adoptions and other things like that. And if you know about animal rescue, you know that is a very important part of it. Another thing is a lot of people don't realize is that the car gets a lot of wear and tear when you're driving it back and forth to adoptions left and right. Also, all the fur in the car, the pee, the crap that happens in it. So these cars are very important for this kind of thing. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to link her website and her donation page down below. Feel free to donate to them. You don't have to, but it would mean a lot. This money will go out to help their organization and help these dogs get a forever home. So with all that being said and out of the way, let's get on to the video. Guess who has a new car to fix today? I do. Having a few issues with my friend's Volkswagen GTI. They are telling me that the transmission stops and they have to reset the car and then the transmission will go again. This is actually an automatic. I've been playing with it for a little bit and I found a ton of oil under here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all this off, because in order to get to the part that I need, you have to take it all off. And we're going to see where all that oil is coming from and hopefully get this car fixed. And then maybe another day we'll deal with the Civic again. In the interest of time, I wasn't able to record me taking everything off, but the reason I'm taking all this off is so I can get to this brake booster right there with the light shining on. Those are a common issue in these cars and they're known to fail, causing oil leaks. The problem is there's a ton of oil down there and it looks like it's actually coming from the DSG filter or DSG transmission filter. I'm having a hard time getting a color on it, but there's a ton of oil there that you can see that the issue is, and it's all right in there. Next, I'm going to take off this battery box and see under there and see why exactly this thing is leaking. I think the filter may be bad, so we might need to change the filter and get some new oil fed into this thing. Alright, this is what I was talking about. There's a lot of oil leaking from here. And it's either going to be A, that oil filter for the transmission, or B, the oil cooler. And I think it might be the cooler. But as you can see, there's a ton of oil leaking here. I thought it could be a main seal, but I don't see the main seal leaking. I just see all this oil running down, making it look like that. So I'm going to get a little more into it and see what else I can find. Yeah, so it looks like whoever worked on this car last, or whoever did the service for this transmission oil, did not tighten this on right and it caused it to leak. And another thing is this seal is like blown. So I was able to take it off by hand, which I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be able to do. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that. But that is what caused this oil leak. And the reason they're stalling is because it looks like the transmission is overheating due to low oil. So we're probably going to have to take it to go get filled somewhere, because I don't have the tool to do that. But let's see what happens from here. Alright, this is fun. So it looks like I did confirm that that is the issue. So the issue was the transmission oil filter, which you can see right there, was either loose or the person that worked on it last didn't screw it in right, so it caused a ton of the oil to leak out. which in turn is causing them issues with their transmission stopping and starting. When they're driving it and it overheats, they have to turn off the car to get it to start again. And the bottom looks just like a ton of leak on the bottom. So what's going to end up happening is either A, I'm going to do the transmission refill myself, and it might cost around $150, but I am getting a couple of quotes from a couple of different places around me that can also do this. I went to a Valvoline and they sent me to an import auto shop. They're going to get me a quote. There was another one, I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but they quoted me about $170 to get it done. So we're kind of looking at our pros and cons. The cons are I need to buy a few tools, which is going to add to the cost. So if it's cheaper for them to get it done somewhere else, I'm going to send them over there to get this transmission flush done. If it's cheaper for me to do it, then I'm going to do it myself. So what the process entails is we got to put this car up on a ramp, and once we put it on a ramp, we got to level it out. So I got to jack the back up and put that on ramps too. Once it's up in the air, I can crawl under there and I can take out the fluid. There's a special tool that you need to put in there to undo where all the fluid comes out of. So there's 2 bolts basically that go in there that need to be taken out. Once it's all drained out, there's 2 ways you can fill it. You can fill it from the bottom with like a giant pump that I don't have, or you can fill it from the top here. I've seen a couple of people do it that way, so I'm going to try to do it that way. But there's a process that you have to do to get it filled. So you have to like turn the car off, turn it back on, which is going to be a little difficult considering you got to move all this crap out of the way in order to even get to the filter. So I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work, but we're going to figure it out. Hopefully it's cheaper. Well, I guess we'll say wherever it's cheaper is the place we're going to go, whether it be me or this import shop that's going to quote me right now in a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I'll talk to the owners. I'll see what they decide to do, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the dealer quoted me over $600. This import auto clinic is about the same thing. It looks like there's just something special with these Volkswagens that costs a lot of labor, $330. So it looks like the fluid is actually $250 on its own. So as always, it looks like it is going to be cheaper for me to do the transmission change than it is going to be getting it done somewhere else. So I'm going to give them a call, let them know what's going on, and hopefully get more footage of changing this fluid. Alright, so I did talk to the owner and we are going to do the oil change ourselves. I actually just went to go pick up a new set of sockets, which are the stupid hex ones, because apparently Volkswagen doesn't like regular ones. So I'm going to get started draining the oil and then wait for the new oil to come tomorrow. So I've seen a couple of people do this without having to jack it up. So let's see if I can be one of them. We just need to get this 14 out. Once that 14 is out, we should be fine. Looks like I'm not going to be able to use my creeper bare floor on this one. Alright, we're going to drain everything out right now and then prepare it for the new fluid. Wow, and no fluid came out of that, which is not good at all. Some fluid should have came out, but get on to the next one. Alright, so I have to jack up the car a little to get under there. This car is extremely low to begin with, so inside the transmission, inside this hole, there's actually another bolt that needs to come out so that we can get all the fluid out. Everywhere online was saying that it's an 8mm. I think it might be way smaller than that. If I can find the damn tool that I need. Alright. Okay, so I just measured how much oil came out of the transmission, and it was 1 quart, and this thing takes 4.5 quarts, so that is their issue for sure. So as you can see, we decided to do it, and we're gonna finish it up. As always, it wouldn't be a DIY video if something bad didn't happen. This oil filter stop looks like it had some damage in there, and it took me a minute to get it out of where it was supposed to be from, but We did take out the oil. We were able to get it out. I have to go find another one of these. Problem is they don't sell them at O'Reilly's or anything. So I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to get that at. But I will show you something interesting. 1 quart of oil inside this entire transmission, and there should be 5. And that's what's causing their issues. Another issue they're having is their oil pan from the bottom is leaking majorly. And it is that pan right there. So I have to find a new gasket for that and see if I can get that sealed up. Okay, we are back, and today's agenda is to get that oil pan, I guess is what it's called, out of the car and replaced with the brand new one. So this is the new pan and the new gasket. This is going to seal that up, so hopefully we won't have any more leaking issues. So right now what I'm going to do is pull out the old one. I'm going to get that started and then see how that goes. It looks a little tight in there, but it's only 5 bolts, so let's try to get them out. So to get this pan off was a major pain in the ass, but I finally got it. It took me like an hour. That's what it's covering up down there. That's what I had to get to replace. Everything else is still in there. Everything is good in there. It's just low on oil. Here's the old gasket. If you can see that. This is the area where it blew on the bottom. So that is no good anymore. I'm going to go wash up and I'm going to replace it with this brand new one. I couldn't find the gasket separately, so I had to buy a whole kit to replace the pan and this. But if the pan's coming off, might as well replace the whole thing. So unfortunately, I'm just a one-man shop today. I couldn't get footage of me putting the new pan cover on, but it is in now. I don't know if you can see that very well, but then the screws go in here. I have 5 screws to go. It looks like everything went well on the pan install. So once these are installed, hopefully we can get the new part tomorrow and fill it up. Okay, now I have to put this pain in the ass piece back in. Videographer, come here. And it has to go down in this hole right here. Can you see where I'm pointing? Yeah. So this piece has to go in here with all these annoying wires.
Oh, it's focusing on these napkins.
Which are really a pain in the ass to deal with. So that's where this has to go. So I'm going to get that in now. Like I said earlier, I wasn't able to record myself putting on that pan because it was just me. Now that I have somebody recording, I should be able to put this on with the record. So just hold it up here, and then I'm gonna go under and put this on. It's gonna mess up on me. I swear things go bad always in the last little stretch. Oh shit! This is the part, but it's not the part. Uh oh. See, I knew it. I said things go bad at the last minute. That end, do you see it?
I can't see anything. I mean, I think, yeah, it's there.
So we could get the damn thing out and everything are in the way.
Let's see.
Everything's so slippery.
Gross.
So much oil everywhere. My hands?
Yeah.
Stupid rule. Mm-hmm. Someone dead ass logged into OnlyFans at work. Then this other dude decided he just Pornhub. And we're like, what?
No one said you had to be that smart to work there.
Huh?
I said no one said you had to be that smart to work there.
That's it for the day. We successfully replaced the leaking front oil pan. Hopefully the new one doesn't leak, and if it does, I'm gonna lose it. But we're one step closer. Tomorrow the new part comes in. Once that part comes in, we will start the filling process. Good news, everybody. We got the new pipa. So, $90 later, this morning Volkswagen called and said, hey, it's here. So I'm going to get this installed. and then I'm going to start the fill process, and this car should be good to go. So this thing just has to go in hand tight. We'll call it there. We're good. We clean off this bolt and then put the rest of it in. So from here on out, we're going to be working on the top of the engine. We're good. This is the old oil filter for the transmission. As you can see, it's pretty much trash. So, thanks to YouTube, I figured out that this hole will go into, or this pipe will go straight into this hole right here. Just like that. And we can do a top fill, which is going to be a lot easier than trying to pump it in through the bottom, because I do not have the tools to pump it in through the bottom. So I did as the instructions said. I kept the oil out in the sun for about, I don't know, 3-4 hours so that it can be easier put in. So originally, like I said, we had, I don't remember, I think it was 1 1/4 or 1 quart came out. So I'm going to fill it with 4 1/2 now. And the drain process is going to be a little slow. So I'll show you this first bottle and then speed it up to the rest. So I think this is going to be the longest part, is getting this fluid into the car. So as you can see, it is draining, but it is draining extremely slow. So I'm going to continue this with the last 4 bottles, and then we'll get everything put together and get it started. Alright, this is the last of the fluid. It took me just about an hour to get all 5 liters in. This is the last of it. Got a couple of milliliters left. So once that's finished, then I can button everything up, take it for a test drive, give the customer a call, and call it a day. Okay, and just like that, we have finished it up. This was a really fun project, and I hope I get to service this car again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video on the DSG. Next video, we will be getting to more Maxima content, so stay tuned for that.